Yeah, all hope everyone's well out there. Sorry the last video cut off at the end. I just really don't have the time and patience to play around with these apps on my phone when I can't see anything at the moment. So, I did think it was right before I put it up, but it all worked out anyway. So let's talk about what the state is going from, the state of the world is going from the beginning. Okay, so after 9/11, we all know that 9/11 was the major shift in the transition, which showed that there's now individuals that can be targeted under new legislation and new laws that are pushed and executive orders that deem them to be terrorists. So when this happened and that, I was saying to everyone back then, basically that what's going to happen is that every criminal, well, so-called criminal in this world, that the name terrorist is just going to become criminal. So anything that you do in the future will be deemed a terrorist offence, but it will just be a criminal offence, including when it gets to the extreme. And they've used this scapegoat ideology to manifest the outcome of the reality of what they're trying to desire. Then we can understand that what we've got now is we're having all this, at the beginning of this COVID shit, there was a lot of people saying that it escaped from the Wuhan lab, etc., etc. And at the time, at the beginning, I myself was a bit questioning as well. If you remember, I put a video up which was from Wuhan, and there was the people were yelling from their flats, "It's all fake, it's all fake." You know what I mean? They were warning us in the future of what was to come, and then people didn't take any notice, and the media sold it off as blah, 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 and, everyone didn't really care about that until it hit their place, and then it's like, okay, now we can understand. You look around and you see, oh, well, what's happening right now? We're having a shift again in the understanding of where COVID come from, because remember, it come from a fucking bat at first, apparently in the Wuhan wet markets and that, and it crossed from human, bat to human, blah, 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 and it was all proven to be bullshit anyway. And now they're saying that this bio weapon may have been released. So what they can do now, and what I can see that's happening now, is that word terrorist and criminal is no longer going to be terrorist and criminal. It's going to be biological threat. Because the simple thing is, under the Biosecurity Act and everything like that, now, they've got laws that allow them to indefinitely detain anyone that's a biological threat. In other words, you're infected with a biological weapon. And the fact that you're carrying a biological weapon, if it is deemed to be and found to be a real biological weapon that they say, even though we know really what it is, then you will be classified as a bioterrorist. And under that act, you can be basically treated as if you're a terrorist crossing a border, mate, shooting at people. You won't get any more leniency than that, because you will be an actual threat that all of those laws can affect you under the ideology of what they're going to place. And as soon as that bioterrorist threat thing comes in, the whole mentality of everything right now will accelerate by the thousands and thousands of percent. I mean, instantly just insanity. So that's what I see happening right now. I see the whole name changed, and I see that back then when they did the 9/11s, that everyone was concerned. There was domestic terrorism, and that propaganda was so pushed back then, so you could realize that terrorists didn't just mean overseas, battling over another country, blah, 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 what they tell you it is. A terrorist is a homegrown person that basically disagrees with any push of legislation or pathway that the government is directing them in. And also you have all of these scapegoat ones, the lone gunmen, etc. But that's all part and parcel of the agenda to get rid of the weapons anyway. Unfortunately, Australia is so fucking dumb that we did it a long time ago. But that's what I see is happening with what's going on right now. I see the name of the terrorist being replaced with the biosecurity threat, and then everyone that isn't so-called taking this new shot to protect them from absolutely zilch. But yeah, then they'll be the actual bioterrorist in the future, because when you're carrying a bioterrorist weapon in you, you're a bioterrorist. So it's crazy what they're trying to do with all of this. And at the end of the day, there was a documentary I seen last year sometime, which was like, I think it was from the same lady that did the Q stuff. But yeah, I actually just don't believe much in that anymore either. Q's died in the arse. It was nothing but, like people are saying, psychological fucking manipulation. And it was just an operation to have those sit on their ass while they could do what they wanted to do and make people believe in hope. You know, hope is a great thing, especially if you're saying, well, I'll do all this for you and you just have hope in me, then I'll be the one that you have hope in. And then when that hope vanishes, people, you know, like, well, shattered. But in reality, the whole understanding of all that is still trying to be there in the background. But if you can't see now that it's not going to happen, there's not going to be roundup of the deep state. There's no fucking pedophilia cunts that are going to jail that should be executed. None of that's going to happen. It may happen in the future after a few years, after we sort this world out properly, because I know for a fact that we don't lose. That is the truth of all of this. We, as the people, don't lose. We lose NPCs, we lose misguided programs and alternating frequencies of consciousness of this manifestation that aren't needed. So the progression of the full consciousness can become more stable and more whole. And that's what's happening. NPCs are being removed. Sadly, NPCs could mean anyone. If you've read the manual, you know exactly what I mean by that. And we're entering into a world where everything will be of accordance to balance. And if you've read the manual, you can understand how the world is balanced and what's going on right now, and the reason why everything's deemed to said to be real, but is absolutely fake as fuck. So it's all just madness, isn't it? You think about it. You couldn't even watch a movie from back in the day when we were brought up that showed you this mentality of the future, you know. All the mentality of the futures that were actually in those movies had some degree of what they're trying to do, but what they're trying to do is all of those movies that you've seen of all of those conspiracies happening to people, you know, and put into one giant reality as what you believe is reality anyway, but really put into one giant new other movie, which is called your reality, which is nothing but a simulated fucking consciousness script running experience. So it's definitely very interesting, that's for sure. You didn't choose to have a very, very boring game. It's getting pretty bizarre at the moment. So everyone keep strong out there. Just keep balancing. Keep remembering to realign all your energies all the time, because at the moment they're getting so erratic from all the bullshit around and people's energies around you, especially if you're an empath. You're going to be draining in all of that, and you're going to be really, really drained all the time and feel like absolute crap unless you get that time to yourself to meditate and rebalance your own energies, fix your auras, blah, 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 blah. So, anyways, people, I thought I'd drop this up. I'm about to go into this little frequency machine. I'll let you know how I go, but I'm going to be trying to attune it to fix the density of the bone in my spine, and hopefully do some stuff with the lungs as well, and the heart, and hopefully over time feed away this warfarin and go to something natural, because I know that every single thing that I take that's big pharma introduced to me through my medical practitioners, then I already know what it's supposed to do to me. You know, it's supposed to off me slowly and that. So basically, it just gives you another problem while saying it fucking fixes that one problem, but it just prolongs that problem while creating other problems that you're going to need to get other indoctrinated terms, medical, medicines, etc., and treatment. When it's then that's going to just keep going, and the whole chain's just going to keep going and going and going like that. So, anyways, people, peace, love, and respect, and namaste, and stay safe. All right, peace. Yeah, g'day YouTube and everyone. So I thought I'd put this up. I was looking through on YouTube and I come across this from The Guardian, And basically, in a scenario that basically there was just, let's just say, a virus called the shingles runner or something like that, you know, and there was a place that was locked down somewhere and everyone was told that there's some shingles virus come from there, and through that, the actual people actually now film from that imaginary place, and they're yelling out, it's fake, it's fake. Now, one would come to believe that the shingles virus itself, then that there must have been some fear tactic or a scare that was created by some hypothetical enemy or individual or fantasy government created in a imaginary ideology of what I'm trying to explain. And that's what we have here. If you understand what I just said, then good. But what I'm going to show you is basically, I won't say a yes or a no to it because of the new guidelines that go with YouTube, and I don't want to basically have any trouble with this. So let's just say that we can hear people in the background yell, it's all fake, it's all fake, it's